Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. It is unfortunate to say, but I don't think all that surprising to say that cheating here in Warzone Season 3 in Verdansk is getting worse and worse. And now it's kind of getting to the point where it is once again out of control. A few days back, I had talked about this in its own different video, talking about some cheating updates and some situations going on there with how the TTK might impact more false reports because it feels like you're getting fried and whatnot. But in that video, I talked about how for the first little while of playing Verdansk, I had essentially run into no blatant cheaters the first 10-15 days or so. But Verdansk, as of today, today's the 23rd, it came out April 3rd, I want to say, right? That was the launch date. So basically 3 weeks, right? Verdansk and Season 3 have been here, and now that we're 2+ weeks in, it seems like we've just hit the point where the cheat developers in the community have figured out what was changed with the anti-cheat in Season 3. Like, I'll 100% say the first 2 weeks or so, when I've been playing a ton of Warzone, this is probably the most Call of Duty I've played since BO6 launch, where I was on 10 hours almost every day trying to grind out camos and get dark matter and level up stuff, right? So I have been playing this game an absolute ton since Verdansk dropped, and for those first 2 weeks, like I said, really didn't run into any situations where I died, watched a kill cam, spectated a player, and is like, yeah, that guy's obviously hacking. Now, quite possible that some people have gotten very good at hiding it. Totally is a thing, right? But as far as blatant cheats, consistent cheats, I personally, in my experience with my squad, was not experiencing that much at all for the first little bit. But per usual, with anti-cheat updates, and especially with Call of Duty and Ricochet being largely underwhelming since its inception, it is this constant tug of war. And this does apply to basically every other multiplayer game out there. Fortnite, Apex, PUBG, you name it. Like, they all have this same tug of war battle. It just doesn't seem to the extreme of Call of Duty, with Ricochet in specific being largely underwhelming, right? But this tug of war is essentially the anti-cheat gets updated, Ricochet gets updated, and then there's that lull in cheaters. But then the cheat developers figure out what's going on, they update. So now they have the upper hand, and Ricochet's falling apart, and the cheats are everywhere in game. And then you see another Ricochet update, and they get the upper hand. And then the cheat developers update, and they get the upper hand. And it's this constant tug of war, this back and forth that probably will never stop. It is just a matter of how long can the anti-cheat keep the upper hand. And with Verdansk here, and with the launch of Season 3, it seems like it's held the upper hand for longer than any other time that we've had recently, right? Usually it's like, okay, 3 days into a season, there hasn't been many cheaters. Day 4, and they're back. This time, it being a week plus, 2 weeks plus, really solid it seems like for the most part. But long story short here, the cheats are back. They are becoming more and more frequent. The past few nights that I've played, there have been several instances where it is blatant cheater here, whole team of blatant cheaters, wait a couple of games, another blatant cheater. And there are a lot of issues going on with this. We do have some things currently being updated, some things in the work from Ricochet I wanted to talk about, but the cheating issue is back and it's rough. And one of the main things that I've actually ran into a lot now since the cheats have started to sort of rise back up as of late in the past few days is an update that I almost feel like is kind of backfiring with a change that was made in Season 3. So you may recall that a while ago, back with our very first community update for Ricochet for 2025 that came along with like Season 1 and everything, the Ricochet anti-cheat team talked a little bit about malicious reporting and spam reporting and things of that nature, where they said that they're going to take more action on people who are spam reporting, who do frequently report. You could actually get in trouble if you are trying to report players too often. Like, every time you die, you're just spamming reports. Even if it's a completely legit player, they might realize, oh, hey, this account sent out 22 reports this match. Yeah, that's probably not accurate, right? So they'll look into that, which is, has its pros and cons, I guess. But a thing that sort of came from this was this duplicate report thing that never really officially got a full push live, hey, we're gonna update this entirely, but it started to appear more and more throughout Season 2, and now is very frequent here in Season 3. They gave us this whole rundown in their Season 3 anti-cheat blog, talking about how a lot of reports that they've received so far this year have just been uninformed reports, incorrect reports of accounts that were not cheating. So for instance, they say over 60% of received cheater reporting in Warzone has been against console players, for example. And that's not to say that console cheating is impossible. They literally say console cheating is possible, but our data has consistently shown it represents an extremely low population of detected cheaters when compared to PC. So a change that they've done here, one, not only is to update the kill cam with more information so you can see if you were live pinged, if you were unsuppressed, if you were on a UAV or a recon drone or whatever, right? But they've also really emphasized this duplicate report system, where if you report somebody once, okay, fine, it sends the report through. Let's say they don't get banned, they don't get the Ricochet logo next to their name, and they're blatantly aimbotting, for example, here, right? And you're like, okay, he's clearly cheating, right? I'm reporting him again. You report that player a second time, you're gonna see this flare pop up in the top right. Instead of successful report, you know, we're gonna look into it, it's gonna say error, duplicate report, you cannot submit more reports on this player. Here's the thing though, well, in theory, yes, that's fine, it's whatever, you know, it prevents spam reporting to an extent on innocent players. There is a situation that happens so frequently in game that I have ran into myself numerous times so far just this week alone, running into more and more cheaters, since like I said, they're back in more numbers now, in waves now, where I run into a cheater for the very first time. It is a name I've never seen before. It's a level 15 account, for instance. I go to report this person who's blatantly aimbotting or wall hacking or whatever, and on my first report there is error, duplicate report. That's an issue. So I'm really hoping that by talking about it in this video, I also tweeted at COD and was like, hey, why is this happening? I'm hoping that we can get some more attention on that in and of itself, because that's a significant problem when you actually can't submit a report on an obvious cheater because the system thinks you've already done so, even though you've never met that person or that player ever before in a game and reported them before. I've had this happen not just once or twice, but numerous times as I'm running into very obvious cheaters. So that in and of itself is something that definitely needs to be looked into, on top of the fact that cheaters are back in higher numbers now over the past few days. Now, we do have Season 3 Reloaded coming up, and with this same blog, nice little Paul Blart Mall Cop style segue here, does detail some stuff here that we can expect with Season 3 Reloaded. And of course, as we see new updates, new reveals, announcements, anything in regards to the anti-cheat situation, anything they're doing to combat anything, or really any updates at all for Call of Duty, if you want to make sure you're always in the know, this is the place to be. So feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. And if you do enjoy this video, you want to bring more attention to this subject, a like rating does seriously help share the video around and get new eyes on it. But you'll also notice that in their Season 3 security little note here, they say, as an additional layer to existing anti-cheat processes, we're launching brand new systems in Season 3. And I have to imagine these are the systems that kept the gameplay rather clean, not flawless. There were still some cheaters here and there at the start, but not nearly as many as we've seen now recently or in past seasons. Those new systems are probably like why we had that 2-week buffer instead of 2 or 3 day buffer. For security reasons, we can't give away the details. However, we will publish another Ricochet progress report in the release window of Season 3 Reloaded to detail results from the Season 3 updates. So with Season 3 Reloaded coming up here in just a few days time, presumably at the start of May here, we are going to have another detailed Ricochet blog saying, okay, this is what worked with our Season 3 update. This is what we're going to work on now because it is problematic or didn't work as intended. So we've got some updates inbound and some more details inbound, which is good news. Hopefully though, it's going to directly address some of these large concerns that have especially risen in scale in the past few days. One more thing while we are on the subject of anti-cheat updates I think is worth mentioning is this new post from COD Updates that actually just went out the other evening, saying new update is out for Black Ops 6 ranked play and it's going to be coming to Warzone here with Season 3 Reloaded as well. They say our new retroactive SR adjustment system is online in Black Ops 6 ranked in multiplayer, and the first wave of SR adjustments is being issued. Players who lost SR in matches against banned cheaters in Season 3 will see SR refunded the next time they log in to play ranked play. Players who we detected as benefiting from extended play with cheaters, so if you're queuing up with someone in your party who's intentionally cheating to boost your SR, they can see that. You may see reductions in your SR the next time you log into ranked play. The retroactive SR system adjustment will continue to perform regular updates moving forward. Details regarding a similar system for Warzone ranked play will be shared later this season. So a similar update will be coming when Warzone ranked drops alongside Season 3 Reloaded, so we've got that to look forward to as well. Nice that they are focusing on this and properly adjusting SR where needed. Obviously just one step in the overall approach to anti-cheats and doing right by players. Obviously the first thing would just be to just stop the cheaters and make sure they don't get into the ranked play games. But the possibility of that happening flawlessly, essentially none, just because of the day and age that we're in, where cheaters are always going to exist. It's just a matter of how many. And so far in COD this season, it hasn't been as much, but definitely is a number that's climbing very fast, it seems like, in recent days. So it's concerning, to say the least. Hopefully these upcoming updates, these new ranked play updates, and the new info that we're going to get alongside season 3 Reloaded are promising, and they have good things to report and good things to announce. Time is going to tell, though. For now, though, yeah, it does seem like we're going back to the days of large waves of cheaters existing in gameplay, which is rough. Again, as we get any news, any updates on this or anything else going on in COD, you want to make sure you're in the know for everything going on. Feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications, and if you enjoyed this video, a like rating on your way out would be really appreciated. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.